Yeah, she doesn't like to see people at their weakest, alright? Now would you please just take care of your siblings and leave Felicia to me? Oh, and after you wooed my sister, you want Felicia too? It's not like that. You don't understand. Then make me understand. You've done nothing but yell at me without explaining why. I can't explain this, Kenneth. Felicia's not like any other normal woman. In fact, a lot of things want her dead, and my head is at stake. Please, please just trust me on this. There's no time. I'll bring her back. You have my word. Fine. I whistled, and Shift immediately came to my side, ready for a chase. While I know for a fact that riding a horse through the woods at night is stupid, I have to take the chance. Plus, it's not like I haven't done this before. Careful. Mounting Shift after wearing my headpiece, I rode through the night, deftly evading trees and branches. All those years horse racing with Jeff at the training grounds finally proves to be useful. I'm sorry, you've reached the end of the beta for Raphael's Route. Please don't worry though, Sai's working her hardest to complete this visual novel. Yes, she is, my adorable Sai. Okay. For now, I advise you to click press right at the corner. Okay, I don't need to read all this. I'm going to do something. I'm gonna load. I think it was back here. Because I wanna go help out Kent. I made my way over to Kent after I excused myself from Katharina, just in time as one of the sleeping bags slipped itself from the armful of baggage he's holding. Catching it without much trouble, I set it down on the ground and helped Kent with the rest of the unpacking. You packed a lot. Yes, all our things were burnt down, but thankfully some of our clothes and knapsacks are at Katharina's shop. Katharina's shop? She's a seamstress. She mends clothes and makes garments. Ken seems like a very frail and timid person. I have to be careful when starting a conversation with him so he doesn't freeze up. Yeah, this is difficult. So what does Kenneth do? So now that I know you hunt fishes and Katharina sews clothes, and what about Kenneth? He works with Katharina. You see, Katharina is colorblind. Colorblind? Yes, she cannot distinguish the difference between certain colors. But she's a very gifted artisan. Her needlework is amazing. Thus, Kenneth helped her to do it. Kenneth helps her to do what she does best. Whenever she needs more thread or animal skins, Kenneth would... Ah, so he makes sure her shop is well stocked, too. Yes, he also hunts animals for their skin. If Katharina has a special custom order that needs her to sew special clothes. Amazing. I have no idea how supportive Kenneth is. Wait, then your clothes? Katharina made them, without Kenneth's assistance. It's a bit bright for her tastes, but she picked the fabric herself and she wanted to make something special for us. I see. Katharina's very lucky to have you two as brothers. Chrono would be honored to welcome you through such unique talents. Kent seems surprised by my words, and there's actually a bit of blush on his cheeks. Nyah. Another secret yaoi words? Possibly, possibly not, probably not. Oh well. Is there a place where I could work in Chrono? Because I don't know if there's any body of water that I could... Of course there is. Nonsense. There's plenty of rivers and lakes littering all over Chrono. We don't have many fishermen, and we only get fishes imported from Bavaria, so you'd be helping us out a lot. Nyah. Kent raised his head to look at me, eyes wide and face flushing. Seems like he didn't receive many compliments in his life for him to react like this every time I praise him. Alright, now it's my turn to ask him something. Sal, what made you decide to be a fisherman? I'm very bad at talking with people, so I can't work where there'll be lots of people. The sea is always so very calming for me, and I find peace when sailing. Kenneth and Katharina, they're always so happy when I return with a large fish in my net. So I decided I want to make other people happy too, by fishing. As long as there's something I'm comfortable doing, I can make people happy. I found myself smiling hearing his reason. It's something so simple, yet it makes a lot of sense when I take into consideration Kent's nature. I think it's the perfect job for you. Although I can't see Kent's expression since he's facing away. Facing looking down, I can see the sides of his cheeks raising with a smile. Great, I'm making progress. Alright, I better be careful now. Don't say something that might startle him or suffer a panic attack, and I'll never get this chance again. This is where it gets difficult, isn't it? Despite what happened with the water people, you still love this. I think that's... anything interesting happen when you fish? I need to be tactful. Although I want to be straightforward so badly. I don't like beating around the bush like this. Ken paused for a brief moment, and then he suddenly shifted his way very near to me. With a very quiet voice, he whispered, "Can you keep a secret?" I immediately nodded, suddenly feeling very lucky to have gained his trust this quickly. I never told this to anyone, even Katharina, but I think you should know about this since I believe it'll be useful for you. Once, I sailed quite far into the sea, and suddenly a woman appeared beside my boat. A woman? A mermaid. My eyes widened at this fact. I never believed they even existed, but ever since I met Felicia, I'm starting to believe a lot of things that I initially didn't. I seriously have to consult Felicia regarding this later. It's times like these that I'm thankful I have a witch obsessed with understanding the world as a companion. I'm not crazy. I know, Kent. I believe you. What did the mermaid want with you? Kent was smiling briefly, and then he continued with much less anxiety. She was speaking in a language that I didn't understand, but she looked so determined to explain something to me. Then she pulled me closer, just to kiss me. Only because there's a storm coming in. She even went so far as to push my boat back till I'm close enough to land, before she disappeared into the water. After I tied my boat to the docks, the clouds began to darken, and just like she said, a terrible storm rolled in for 3 days straight. His story is simply astonishing, and I learned quite a lot already from this one short tale. They can predict the weather? Yes. Before they begin to attack, I assume the state of the weather must give them the advantage. Right. And the mermaid, she kissed you, and only then could she speak our language? I believe they all can't speak our language until they touch their lips to ours. That's how the merman who burned our village communicated with me. I see. It also proves that they're not particularly bad. That mermaid helped me, and that incident happened before the late king introduced the sewage system. It all makes sense now. They might simply be angry that their water was contaminated. Yes, at least that's what I can conclude. This is all very useful information, Kent. Thank you very much for sharing it with me. I'll be sure to let Jev know of your help. Jev? I meant my king. Kent looked at me curiously, and I only smiled at him. Because you shared your secret with me, you don't mind if I share mine with you? Kent's eyes widened ever so slightly, and he nodded at once at me, his eyes staring at me in wonder. King Javorn and I are childhood friends. He may be my king now, but he's still my very close friend. My confession made Kent gasp audibly, but he didn't say anything. He simply stayed quiet, as if waiting for me to continue. But then his eyes darted away in slight embarrassment. I swear, you're almost like having a crush on Raphael. It's cute. Kent is cute. You probably can't hold eye contact for too long. Sometimes he'd sneak out of the castle late at night just to have a drink with me, or to have a friendly spar, or just to talk. He's a couple years older than me, so he's taller than me. So he's been taller than me since we were kids, but he was so timid. Actually, you remind me a lot about him, Kent. Me? How can someone insignificant like me be similar to the King of Krona? That. Just that. Always putting yourself down like that. That's just like Jev. I had to act like the big brother, and I would always tell him that he's special more than he knows. More special than he knows. Because he cares about people's thoughts of him so much, he's so afraid to tell them his ideas. When all his ideas are brilliant, I vouch for him. Wow. Because he's older than me, he went ahead and became a page earlier than me. Then when I was a page, he became a squire. So he became a knight when you were a squire? That's right. I kept supporting him, even though he's on top, and slowly he gained more confidence in himself.